Hello. So our project is called Active Together. So it's a bit of background. My name's Rihanna and I'm a master's student doing technology, creativity and thinking in education. And the project is run by myself and my two other amazing project leads, Manansha and Nina Cunningham. Next slide, please. So what we aim to do is to create long-lasting positive effects on the way that Exeter students approach discussions on racial diversity. And how we've aimed to do this is force more visibility by permeating these sports clubs on campus to fully integrate EDI into all aspects of student lives. We really urge students to recognise both aggressions and microaggressions towards students of colour and really want to make it essential that all students feel supported and secure when participating in activities that are so crucial for physical and mental well-being. Next slide, please. So we have our three main goals, and the first one is to improve current EDI at the university alongside the Athletic Union and the Student Guild. So our main aim at the moment, which has been moulded and changed over time, and it's only been a couple of months, but we really have found that follow-up sessions after EDI training seems to be what students have been asking for. So we really want to bring in our own internal training provided by the EDI team who we're in contact with, which have options to present on Zoom and in person. Our current EDI training uses very unengaging slideshows at the moment. And even though this was a quick implementation and very good for current COVID situations, we want to ensure that this is not maintained. So we've had discussions with the Guild. They are currently using a company called Diversity Trust, who they've been extremely positive responses to. They had over 100 students participating, but in these trainings they are optional, and unlike other trainings, they're never to full capacity and really have a need for more visibility. We also spoke to the Athletic Union and we are working alongside them to make the EDI more effective from the student perspective. So they've started a new training called the Allyship training, which we attended yesterday. It was absolutely amazing, but definitely had a lot of improvements that could be brought in by us. We gave our feedback to the training, which was very backed up by academic literature to really help inform them, and they're very open to hearing our ideas. This is the first year that they're using both of these trainings. They're very new, so we really want to implement our voice and student opinion into these new training forms. Next slide, please. So the second is to introduce a new inclusivity badge to hold clubs more accountable. So what this badge is it's representing completion of EDI training and showing that the club has dedicated themselves to creating a safe space for all students. We have done research around gamification methods, which just means implementing methods from games into aspects of real life. So it really shows that things like badges, redeemable points, things like that can really improve engagement and performance. We have a competition as well ongoing with the design of the badge itself to really increase that student engagement and increase visibility. Again, when we have discussed this with the Guild, they had the idea initially of implementing inclusivity stars. We have a small picture here, but if you want more information, I can link you to the website. And we're working alongside the Guild to really put our opinion in there of what the badge is, push for its success, and really let them know what students should do to both earn the badge and maintain it, so it will be brought to them by Active Together. And we've also discussed this with the AU, and because the Guild have already got this quite sturdy implementation of the badges on their websites, they're very open to base their model off the Guild model. Next slide, please. So our third main aim is to really just change the nature of conversation around race on campus. So obviously Exeter is a very white dominated space, and as a student who's experienced a lot of different forms of conversation around this, it really does need to change. And we do believe that this is just because of a lack of kind of forcing students to see the issues that are present. So one of the things we really want to do is increase new resources and put a lot of our funding into making really effective resources. So we are in contact with Kristen Cole, who is the head of the legal cases team. And as you can see from these pictures of how do I report as a student, how do I report any issues? They're very confusing at the moment, and it's very hard to tell what they're actually meaning to say. So we want to use the funding not only to make this easier, but make social media versions that societies and clubs can put on their social media so all students are aware of it. We are obviously getting students involved with a lot of the steps of the process and just increasing our visibility. Next slide, please. So how will this impact students' lives? So we've just got the ease of access to information with our new resources, social media, and moving accountability into the students. We want to create a self-policing system of accountability. So these badges can be earned, but they can also be taken away. So this is a tool of student accountability, as it's a very public form of when EDI terms have been compromised, and really showing the zero tolerance policy having consequences on the society as a whole. And we are having discussions with the AU about being able to withhold funding from clubs if they do not produce sufficient evidence that they are making efforts towards this. And we just want to increase engagement with EDI issues. We're increasing more opportunities for students to engage with these issues that they may not have known of before, and getting them involved in the policy that's shaping EDI and really giving them a voice in making positive change. Next slide, please. So the long-term benefits is just to increase student knowledge around EDI issues. Reporting will hopefully become a lot easier to access, and we believe that procedures of reporting should be known by all students. Students will hopefully feel safer knowing that there are other students supporting them and making sure these spaces are safe. And it becomes an important part of the student body as a whole, not just the students that are affected by these issues, as we found that too many student cases have gone unresolved. And we really want to just change conversations about race on campus for the better. There are a lot of jokes around the white dominance on campus, and we really want to change them into conversations. You know, we can't change the country's institutional and systematic racism overnight, but we really want to change the narrative in which these issues are being discussed, and not only on campus, but the way that students discuss them in all areas of their life once they leave. And just make sports societies a safer space for all students. So students will be much more aware of how to react to aggressions or microaggressions. Committee members will really know how to lead their members to correct reporting procedures, and just create more awareness about the issues that are happening in everyday life. Next slide, please. So we have a quick little timeline of how to achieve this in order to save time. January, we were just kind of setting up all of our social media, getting started, getting more visibility. This month has been mostly around getting the support from the clubs, speaking with the AU, the Guild, being interviewed by a couple of newspapers, and just gaining more visibility. We wrote our first blog, and it seems to be growing quite quickly this month. From March to May is where we really intend to have the internal EDI training implemented and getting it into future training. We've also been getting involved with AU elections, so we'll be working with those students as to see how they're going to carry it on year by year. And June is just to ensure that it's known by every single one of the sports societies and guild societies, and really starting the conversation and leaving a legacy. Last slide, please. So if you do, obviously we had to go through this quite quickly, but if you do have any questions at all, please do contact us on any one of our social media pages or email. If you have any ideas for our project at all, like its main focus is collaborating with everyone. We clearly have a lot of really brilliant people here, so please feel free to message us and we're pretty quick to respond.